What's good, yo? What's good? Your boy Mike here, Speak Ya Clout Podcast. Live every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm here with my brother from the ways of Northern Ireland, Vibe Cracking Building.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
What's good, y'all? In the month of April 2023, we celebrating the tank, the legendary No Limit Records. You know, we're big fans over here. All of us, all fucking four of us. And, man, got into No Limit. Everyone knows the story, but I'll get to that a little later to talk about C Murder. But every weekend of April, we'll be reviewing a No Limit album from 1998. 25 years of the 98 No Limit albums. And the first one up just turned 25 on March 17th. It was only a few weeks ago. The second oldest in the Miller clan, C Murder, Life or Death. Man. So I tell the No Limit story all the time. My cousin Nisha got me into Master P, and I got Ghetto D shortly after that. But it was her brother Jason that got me into the No Limit Soldiers. And at that time, I was getting Sauce magazines on a consistent basis, and I would see the ad to see Murder, Life or Death. And I didn't get the album till the summertime, like August 98, somewhere around that time frame. And absolutely loved it. Just straight, raw, gritty, unapologetic Southern gangster shit. And off the bat, I would say around this time frame, Master P and C Murder were biting Tupac, just ultimate fucking jacking shit, bro. I can't lie, but it's not whack. I like it. I can't. It's not whack to me. It doesn't bother me that much at all, you know. But yeah, this album is superb, and I'll get into my love for that. But yeah, summer '98, I got this. Shout out to my cousin Jason. He got me into everything, every No Limit Soldier he told me about, and I was getting the album. So that's how Life or Death came into my life. How about you, Var?
Yeah, I mean, so for the whole No Limit thing, that wasn't really a big thing in the UK. It just didn't travel. Like, it's crazy. Like, No Limit, obviously, in the US was the biggest thing popping. You know, every time they put out an album, it went like gold or platinum. You know, in 98 alone, I think they put out, 23 albums or something like that? Something crazy number like that. And most of them went gold or platinum. And yeah, just that massive success in the US just didn't seem to travel internationally, which is really bizarre. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like an opposite of example, like what was popular in the UK if it wouldn't be known in the US. I know, like I don't know, like pop music, like Robbie Williams or something like that. You know, he was massive, but obviously people in the US wouldn't know who that is. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like back then, you know, music was still very much regionalized, and I think these days because of the internet, like I think most people listen to the same like mainstream music. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the same. But yeah, with No Limit, for me, my introduction would have been Snoop because obviously, out of everyone else, you know, he was the international mainstream star that everyone knew, and yeah, that was my kind of first sort of like first hearing of the name No Limit and, you know, Master P and all that. But I didn't get into them until way later because I remember hearing like a few songs here and there and not really being that impressed. Like when I first heard like Hootie Hoo by True and you know,
Great
make
way
them
to
say
start off.
yeah, make them say like those were like obviously some of their big hits and I just wasn't really feeling it at the time. But obviously, you know, getting to know you and learning more about the actual artist because obviously I knew who Master P was and that was about it. Like I didn't really dig too deep, but yeah, once for me, like, and I think for a lot of people, once you dig into No Limit like at all, you quickly realize like what like depth they had to their roster. Like it was a very packed crew that they had, and it was really dope. You know, most of the guys that they had on there were just really good. Like the thing that I love about No Limit is that the really good mixture of voices on there, you know, and yeah, it's just really dope. You know, you even had like people from different parts of the world, you know, from, you know, different parts of the US. You know, you had like Steady Mobbin from the West Coast and you had like Kid and Abel from the East, you know, like just really dope stuff. And of course, you know, No Limit were based in the West for a while in Richmond, you know, so yeah, I mean, coming into Life or Death, like, I consider like Ghetto D, which we reviewed last year. I consider that to be like the when the moment when No Limit really exploded, and Ghetto D, I think, was the blueprint for the albums that came out afterwards.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, at this point, Beats by the Pound doing, pretty much most of the production on the album. And like, they really had, at this point, they were on top of the world and they had established themselves as, they had their own sound and they were in their own lane and they were just killing it. So with, yeah, Life or Death, it was just an album that I got along the way. Like the No Limit bug hit, and I'm sure it was like that for a lot of people. Once you get like a couple of No Limit albums, you end up with 20.
It's the I'll be honest, up
Yeah.
there with Rap a Lot. It's my favorite label to collect.
Yeah, and I mean, I can
Absolutely.
only imagine being a kid or a teenager in the 90s and opening up each album and seeing all the
Yes.
album covers and all the release dates. And like most of that stuff came out. I know some of the stuff didn't, but most of it did, you know? And yeah, I can just imagine the hype and excitement being like, oh shit, Fiend's album's coming out next, like
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of excitement back then. And I remember you saying back in the day, like you were, like shoveling snow, getting that
Yeah.
money, anything with the tank on the back, you got it. And I can totally picture that being a thing back then.
And nine times out of
Master,
10, I wasn't disappointed.
yeah, definitely. Like Master P, say what you will, obviously with like the Pac biting, the Scarface biting, the Spice One biting, etc., etc. In terms of marketing, genius, absolutely. Give him props for that. So
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, big long spiel, but basically, yeah.
Hey, you're putting it down, bro.
Absolutely. So yeah, really looking forward to reviewing this album because yeah, it's a really good one to kick things off. We're starting off with like a key album for sure.
Yeah, and he's my favorite No Limit Soldier, hands down. See Murder, just straight up gangster rap legend. So yeah, see Murder, Life or Death, 98, 25 years, man. We get an intro, nothing much to talk about it. Very cinematic, got like a movie feel to it. Some pianos. So I gotta say about it, really, just a way to start the album off for like a little intro.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree with you. Just kind of like a nice kind of it's quite a classy way to kick things off, really.
Yeah,
Not sure if it fully like fits the overall album because this is a raw album, and but yeah, it's a cool intro. It's nothing really noteworthy, but yeah, it kind of feeds nicely into the next track. It's just it was 98. Most albums had an intro, and this one, it is what it is. It serves its purpose.
yep. Then we get a second chance. Feature Master P, Silk the Shocker, and Moby Dick. So it's all family because Moby Dick's their cousin as well. Banging beat by Beats by the Pound, man. Like C Murder talks about how some people that live life and they don't get a second chance. Mentions his brother Kevin Miller getting killed on here. Master P's verse is dope. I like when P said, "My best friend is my lady because these fools are phony," and that's true sometimes because dudes be fake as fuck. And then Silk comes correct on here. Say what you will about Silk, he's off beat all the time and shit, but I'm a Silk the Shocker fan. I don't give a fuck. I say he's the wackest, dopest nigga ever. For real. I love Silk. And yeah, Silk talks about life's ills and getting locked up. Dope choice for a single. Shout out to Rome Born Beneath the Dirt. He makes the joke about how that video you got bitches dancing in it, but the song's kind of raw, it don't fit, and it does not fit. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I remember this video on BET all the time. And yeah, second chance. C Murder, man. Featuring Master P and Silk, the Brothers Miller.
Yeah, I
Dope
mean,
track.
basically, the song's a true song, really.
Yep,
Um,
TRU.
Yep. Yeah, no, definitely a dope song. Definitely a good way to kick off the album. I didn't realize or know it was a single until sort of looking up the album earlier on today. And yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice as a single, but definitely, a good way to kick off the album. Reminds me again of Ghetto D because it kicked off with basically a true song as well. You know, um, yeah, no, definitely a dope song. C Murder opens it off really great. Like the thing that I like about C Murder is that He's just so passionate and so raw. You feel every word that he says. There's a certain like authenticity that
Yeah,
really comes through on the mic. And there are certain other songs in this album where you can literally hear him like bleeding over. Like if he was writing that stuff out, you can feel like his blood going into the pen and being put in the words. You know what I mean? And yeah, see Murder, like when he's going off, like it's just you feel it. And when he says, talking about having love for the people in truth, having love for his brother who passed away and stuff like that, you feel it, man. And yeah,
yeah,
I think it's a really dope way to start off the album. Like you say, Master P, he did a pretty good verse on here as well. I like when he says, we don't play no games, boy. We're just trying to get paid. I hope I get rich before they dig my grave, just, getting that money. And yeah, like you said, Silk the Shocker, I like him too. I think he's entertaining as hell. And
yes,
sometimes he's on beat. Sometimes. I
yeah.
think, I honestly think him rapping crazy like that, I think he chose to rap like that, especially if you listen to the older stuff, like when he
Shocker
was
and
on
shit.
yeah, or even before that, like when Ghetto was trying to kill me. When he's on there, he's rapping totally on beat, so I think he was just trying to mix it up and go for a different style. And I like him. I think he's entertaining for sure. But yeah, dope way to kick off the album. And yeah, the song overall, a second chance. I kind of take that to mean like, obviously, they've been through, the horrors of the streets and like knowing what it's like to lose a brother, and like this is their kind of opportunity to kind of move on from that. And yeah, it's a really dope song for sure. Great way to kick things off.
Moby Dick with that back to life.
Yeah, that Soul to Soul, yeah.
Oh, the soul. My mom played that nonstop. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a haunting beat as well, isn't it?
yeah, I love that shit, man. Fire. Beats by the pound. Now we get a kick dough. Oh my god, my cousin Jason, one of his favorites. Feature Master P and the almighty UGK, put off the Texas in the building. Smooth but knocking beat by Beats by the Pound. Kim C's verse is so good on here. I love that. And I'm a trail nigga down to put a 45 to his heel figure. Love that shit. Pimp gets disrespectful on the track. Talks about violating his enemy's bitch. That raw shit. Bun B. So smooth on here. Kills it. Talking that raw shit. See, Murder just gets gully on here. Him and P sort of go back and forth on here. Dope as fuck. Two shots in the air and about being broke. If anybody make a move, everybody gotta go. Love that, man. Only gripe with this banger is Master P's over excessive
I
You
agree.
know, it's too fucking much. And what makes it sad is because I absolutely adore this song. It reminds me of my cousin, and it's just a fucking heat rock. I love this song. Banging. But that fucking P shit, bro. Terrible.
Yeah, he needs to
Too much.
dial it back, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for sure. I love this song. I think this should have been a single. When I listened to this, I was like, "Oh, this." I'm sure this was a single, and I looked it up. I was like, "Nope, it
It's
wasn't a
got video
single."
written all over it.
It does for sure. You said if this was produced by Beats by the Pound, I believe this was by Pimp C. This beat,
Oh shit. Well,
which
then blame Wikipedia, my nigga.
oh no,
Yeah, fuck
no
them.
worries. Well, I think to me it sounds like a UGK song through and through. I love the production on here. So fly, it's just so ill. And yeah, I mean this is a great song. Pimp C, just when he comes in, love his just how he pronounces words, man. He sounds so cool. And yeah, I mean, yeah, he just comes correct, and I love the hook. About the kick, the pull a kick down, and this.
Lay
Oh,
down on the floor with the G's and the money. Everybody gotta go. Yeah, nigga.
oh, so good, and yeah, Bon B, he comes correct as well. Yeah, just hard as hell. Pull high calibers and magnums, gotta gauge these pistols, hand grenades and landmines, chopper pipe bombs and missiles. Like he killed that. And yeah, like you said, the last verse is kind of like C Murder and Master P. They kind of share the verse together. And yeah, they did their thing on there too. I agree with you that Master P um, was a bit overbearing on this track, especially because I think him going in the background, I think it works if it's like a super duper hype track, like this all the
Yeah.
different soldier songs kind of works for those. But this is like more of a smooth, like I said, UGK style song. It doesn't quite fit, him going over the top, especially when it's in the middle of Pimp C's verse and in the middle of Bun
Oh
B's verse,
God.
because you're trying to listen to them because they're spitting dopeness, and then he distracts you for sure. And I think that is one of the things that puts people off No Limit in general. Like when they hear Master P in the background, it's like, oh, I mean, I understand that, but once you get over that, this is definitely one of my favorite songs in the album. I think it's banging, and like I said, I can't believe it wasn't a single.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah,
Killer Cali Kid made a fucking big point. Has UGK ever had a song that didn't bang with No Limit? Nope. Every shit
no,
with it's all fucking heat so much. Even Pimp C on Ghetto D, uh, uh, Ice Cream Man, Break 'em Off
yeah,
something,
Brick
which
'em
just
off something,
oh
yeah,
my god. The Fiend album, it's one of every family. That's slanging. Come on, nigga.
slanging, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Every shit is a banger, man, with the No Limit and UGK. Now we get the fourth track on the album, Constantly in Danger, featuring Mia X, Craig B of Beats by the Pound, Late C Murder with production on here. C Murder talks about repping No Limit to the fullest on here. Mia X is very dope on this track. Lyrically, she slaughtered shit. She's so fucking dope. And I swear, like, C Murder, I said at the top of the show, C Murder biting Tupac should be whack, but it's far from it, in my opinion. Fire track. Shout out to Mia X.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I like See Murder, like I said earlier. Um, it comes across as being genuine. You know what I mean? I think that's how he's able to get away with it a bit more. The park biting anyway. Yeah, I'm able to kind of overlook it because
Likewise.
you feel what he's saying for sure, and constantly in danger. Kind of get an idea of what the song's about from the title alone. Yeah. You know, see Murder talking about having the bulletproof vest on his chest, and keeping his eye on the rear view, all that kind of stuff. And the production fits really well with that kind of theme as well. Kind of has a that kind of dark, kind of paranoid feel. It really fits this track really well. And yeah, Mia X is honestly one of my favorite No Limit soldiers. I just think she's fantastic. Anytime she
Absolutely.
comes on a track, she's always great. I love how she comes in, animosity, got them killers plotting and the feds watching, trying to twitch a bitch up and nuts. With that, he said, she pointing at me, trying to connect the dots, got me locked up for conspiracy. Just love her style. She can really spit, and her lyrics were always great too. So, yeah, always great at having her on there, and just overall, I think the song is dope for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's like I said, that kind of paranoia, kind of street stuff. See Murder saying, I'm having dreams of motherfuckers trying to bury me. It's,
Oh yeah.
definitely, yeah, dope song. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. One of my favorites right here. This shit is hype. Don't play no games. Featuring Mystical and Sook the Shocker. Craig B of Beats by the Pound produced this. C Murder compares the rap game to the code game by saying, I make money off the words that I speak. I flip a cassette like I used to flip a quarter key. I love that shit. That raw talk. Mystical was just a beast in this time period. Every time I see Mystical on the track list, I got hyped. You bitch, you, I'm gonna get you. Fire. I love Mystical. And Silk comes with his unorthodox flow, but he represents. So yeah, man. Don't play no games. Fire. I'm not gonna be breaking down songs real deeply because it's a lot of just the same kind of subject matter, but yeah, dope track for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with you exactly. Yeah, Mystical, he's just so entertaining, just like I'm just in awe of his style, I mean, just his like breakneck speed and like his yelling style, and just like whoa. I remember even though No Limit wasn't a big deal in the UK, Mystical when he left No Limit was a big deal. like the post, like when he did like Danger and like Shake Your Ass and all that. He was big over here, so it's kind of he's like one of the few No Limit soldiers who got bigger after he left, because most of them faded into obscurity, but he's kind of the exception to the rule. And yeah, I think a part of that was just his crazy style for sure, which yeah, he always showed that off lovely. And this song is a good exception to that, or great example of that rather. And yeah, and then again, Silk the Shocker, he does his thing on here as well. He's on this album a lot, Silk. So yeah, no, like you said, not like a some of the tracks are a little bit samey in subject matter, but it's all dope, you know what I mean? And another dope beat on the album for sure. So yeah, Don't Play No Games, maybe not the best grammar in the world in the title, but I'm able to overlook that. Dope song.
Oh yeah. Now we get another one that's dope, man. Show Me Love featuring Mac and Mr. Servon. Moby Dick produces this track. C Murder talks about fans showing love and how he appreciates them. Mac is so good, man. He's top 3 No Limit Soldiers for me. Talks about his underground days because he was a child rapper before, and he'd been in the game for a while up to that point. And Mr. Servon talks about getting love from everybody, gangs included. Dope track. Love this shirt.
Yeah, no, another dope song on the album. Like the beat on this one, it's kind of smooth. And yeah, Mac is fantastic. He's just one of those guys. Again, kind of like what we said with Mystical. When you see that he's on the track, you know it's going to be kind of elevated with his presence. And yeah, I mean, I love how he ends off his verse. He says, I'm damn near breaking in tears as I'm speaking these words. The same motherfucker from the Verd. Show me love. I love that. Just again that passionate stuff. It's even though obviously like most of these No Limit guys, like obviously it's like gangster hard music, obviously like No Limit get misconstrued so much. They're seen as like a bling bling label, and that's not true at all. And the thing that I love as well is like they talk about gangster stuff, but at the same time there's that consciousness to it, and they're very mindful of like how real it all is. And yeah, Show Me Love, it's definitely a dope track. And I like Mr. Servo on here. He was still dope at this point, because I know by the time he put out the second album, he kind of lost his way a bit, but he was still dope here, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a dope song for sure. I like Show Me Love. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good shit, brother. Then we get Picture Me featuring Magic. The track is produced by Carlos Stevens, or Stevens, or what can I call him, from Beats by the Pound. Magic is underrated to me. He's an underrated No Limit soldier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's dope, man. C Murder always on that ride on you, like that real gangster shit. Affiliated with the Army and True Be my clique. Tattoos all up on me because I'll die for this shit. Oh, man. Love this track, man. C Murder was that dude. C Murder discovered Magic. He was signed to C Murder's label, True and No Limit.
Yep.
So, yeah, Magic is dope as fuck. Mad young, early 20s during this time period as well.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I love Magic so much. He's dope, bro. But Picture Me, dope track. I fucks with it.
Yeah, I really like Picture Me. Picture Me is a highlight on the album for me. Again, love the beat on here. Really, really dope stuff. And yeah, Magic, I just love his voice. His voice is so cool. Like I said earlier, yeah. Like I said earlier, I think No Limit just had a great cast of like different styles and different voices, and Magic is another good example of that. I love how he opens up his verse. He says, you have the right to be paranoid. You stand in front of Southern's finest. It's just like hard, from the get go. And yeah, it's another, really dope song. And like you said, C Murder was that guy as well, absolutely. And again, always representing, always like putting No Limit on, always putting True on, and in this case, putting Magic, his kind of protege, I guess you could say, on this track as well. Yeah, Picture Me, another really dope song on the album.
Fuck yeah, brother. Now we get On the Run, featuring Soldier Slim and Full Blooded. KLC from Beats by the Pound on the production. Soldier Slim is a top tier No Limit Soldier for me. I fucking love him. I wish we did. I give it to him raw on here, man. We gotta do that one. I fucking love that album. And dude is so dope. BG admitted it. Lil Wayne admitted it. They're all from Magnolia Projects. Wayne and BG. But they said they got their cadence and swag from fucking Soldier. Just you could just tell. And man, dude is so dope. He just annihilated his verse on here. Soldier Slim did. See Murder on that drug dealing hustler rider shit like he always does. He mentions Calio and Magnolia Projects. Like I said earlier, Soldier Slim being from Magnolia, and the Miller brothers being from Calio, and shit is just hard as fuck. Full Blooded is whack. Don't like him at all. Nonetheless, banger of a track. And shout out to my nigga Ricardo Coach Hill, and he revisited that Full Blooded and said it's still trash. So put it out there. But yeah, regardless of that whack ass nigga, still fire. I got Murder and fucking Soldier on it, and I love the niggas. So hell yeah, fire.
Yeah, I like the song. It's very much like a sort of high tempo, kind of like actiony kind of song. I mean, Soldier Slim, he just bodies it absolutely. I love when he says, I train myself for combat, bust back as a react on every attack. So keep your mouths closed and eyes open. My trigger finger itching to be stroking, praying and hoping. I just murdered it. Yeah, really, just his flow and his cadence against awesome stuff from Soldier Slim. And yes, C Murder, he did his thing too. I love, his kind of, I'm a hustle till I'm dead, ball till I fall. I won't rest till they put my name on the wall. It's just so hard. Yeah, and Full Blooded, I thought his verse was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't, he's definitely not as good as the other guys for sure.
He's trash.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that. Don't worry, I'm not going to stick up for Full Blooded.
No, even if you did, bro, it's all good. Everyone has their own opinion.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. I just didn't think he was like ear-piercingly bad, you know what I mean? But no, I mean, for real, like Soldier Slim and C Murder, they're the stars of the song. And yeah, definitely another dope track on the album. I dig it a lot.
Fuck yeah, that shit hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Then we get Getting Paid, featuring Silver Shaka, Craig B. Produced this. C Murder talks about doing dirt, getting paper. Silk says he wants to be the first nigga out the projects that's worth more than $1 million. Probably more than that, because them boys were fucking stacking up around this time. Like, 98 is their greatest year. Charge of the Game came out a little before this, probably a month before this as well. That just turned 25 years as well, and I love that album. But Getting Paid with his younger brother, Silk, fire.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. This is not one of my favorite tracks on the album. I thought it was okay. A decent track to me. If it wasn't on there, I wouldn't have missed it that much. But it's a fine song, but it's not like a go-to in my opinion. That line that you said, about you being the first out of the project worth more than $1 million. Surely Master P was worth more than $1 million at this point.
Right?
But, yeah. No, it's a decent track. It's not one of my favorites though.
I'm not even mad at that because the fat doesn't need to be trimmed. I would say that about every No Limit album. You know what I'm saying? Even though I do love them.
Yeah, I mean the disc is filled. There's no more music you can put on this. So yeah,
not at all. Only the Strong Survivors next, featuring Master P, Odell and KLC, Peace for the Pound, laced this one. C Murder and P did that thing on here. Peace versus Dope gets political on this joint. Only the strong niggas survive type shit, So I fucks with it.
Yeah, I like the song too. Yeah, definitely. I prefer the song over the previous one. A little bit more upbeat as well, a little bit more hype. And yeah, it's definitely a cool song. Not a lot to really say about it. It's another kind of short one. Like we're in this sort of stage of the album where a lot of the songs are pretty short. They're only like 2 minutes, which I think works well though. You don't really get bored or anything. It just kind of hits. Each song just kind of comes quickly, one after the other, and Yeah, it works well. Yeah, not a lot to say about it. Again, like you said, Master P kind of going a little bit political. And again, oh, I'm sorry, I really need to cough. Hold on.
Go ahead.
There we go.
You get that itchy fucking throat. I know what that's like.
Oh yeah, no, it's hard going. But yeah, like you said, Master P going to political on this track, and again, mentioning Kevin Miller, just mentioning, obviously that was such a hard thing for all of them to go through. And he says at the start, oh Lord, can you feel me? Tell me why my little brother Kellen Miller had to die, and I still hear the gunshots when I sleep. Just you feel that from
Yeah,
his verse for sure. But only the strong survive. Another dope track in the album. Again, maybe not like an ultimate favorite, but it's a step up from Getting Paid.
oh yeah. Then we get the truest shit. Craig B. Lace's track. This is one of the joints I played a lot when I first got the CD. See, Murder just killed it. I love his flow on here. Talks about niggas wanting him dead and plotting on his demise. He also talks about his brother P for taking him out the hood, putting a mic in his hand. That was definitely talked about on that amazing No Limit BET documentary, which I worship.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the truest shit, definitely a dope track for me.
Yeah, I really like this track. Again, this is kind of hits in with what I was saying earlier about C Murder. Like, even though he's hard and he's raw as hell, when he does these kind of more emotional, sentimental tracks, like they really work. You really
Yeah,
feel everything that he's saying, and this is a good example of like what I was saying earlier. You can really feel his emotion and his energy kind of coming out through his words and into the song. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really dope song. I grew up as a motherfucking thug, an outcast, couldn't do shit but slang drugs. Kind of detailing his kind of upbringing, and obviously, again, like you said, mentioning about having the blood of his dead brother on his hand, having to deal with that, and being able to move past that, and giving lots of love to Master P for taking him out of all that and putting the mic in his hand. That's you know, like he says, the truest shit. And yeah, I mean, Master P said it best in an interview. I remember him saying, you know, staying in the ghetto is not gangster. Getting out of the ghetto, that's gangster. Getting your
yeah.
family out there, that's gangster. So yeah, I mean, it's another dope song. Like I said, kind of like a more sentimental, emotional cut, but yeah, it really works. It's a dope song.
Oh yeah, brother. Well spoken. Then we get Making Moves, featuring Master P and Moby Dick. This shit hard, man. I wake up in the morning and I grab my gat, recock my shit before I grab my hat. Simple but fucking fire. I love C Murder. Shit like this is why C Murder is my favorite No Limit Soldier, yo, straight up. And P did his thing on here as well. Moby Dick did the production on this one. Um, Great chorus as well. Yeah, Making Moves is fire to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's another kind of just hard track for sure. Um, I like when he says, one time don't bother me. Already paid my dues for a robbery. Just hard stuff from C Murder as usual. And again, Master P, he kind of comes up again, and again, he's pretty hard on this track too. Yeah, another kind of like what I said about On the Run. This is like another kind of like an actiony kind of song. You kind of picture it being like to kind of describe it like a I can kind of picture it in my head. It's kind of like a scene from a movie or something like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a dope track again, and a good collaboration between C Murder and Master P.
Oh yeah. Then we get Feel My Pain. It's another joint I played a lot back in the day. See Murder talking about going through pain in his life, not being able to see his kids and shit like that. Missing his deceased brother as well. I love the line when he said, "That's why I value nothing but family and friends. You lose material shit, you can get it again." That's real talk, you know. And I love the evil laughter on here that appears towards the end of his verses. And KLC from Beats by the Pound killed the beat. So for my pain, Fire, bro.
Yeah, I mean, this is to me kind of like the true shit part two because kind of a similar subject matter, but he goes even deeper in this song, in my opinion, even more kind of heartfelt and emotional. Will I ever see my brother again? Time will tell. I feel like I'm trapped between heaven and hell. You can feel that pain that he's going through for sure. Um, and yeah, just the song is really good. Again, C Murder obviously known for being hard and aggressive with his raps, but when he does this more sentimental stuff, it works really well for him. And yeah, Feel My Pain is might actually be my favorite. Well, it's up there as my favorite as far as those kind of tracks go on the album.
Yeah.
It's between this and another one that's coming up a little later. But definitely another very good song on the album.
Next, you get classic Soldier songs, and my favorite Soldier song, and my favorite song on the album, Soldiers, featuring Master P, Silk the Shocker, Fiend, Mac, Mia X, Big Ed, King and Abel, and Mystical. Big ass posse cut right here. Like I said, my favorite Soldier track of all time. See, Murder went fucking ham on this shit. I'm a no limit soldier till I'm dead. You can't worry me. I represent the tank till a bitch nigga bury me. TIU on my back, initiated in blood. About a nigga stop fighting when I walk in the club. I love that shit. Like what he said, you could tell I'm a soldier by my army fatigues, and you could tell I'm a killer by the way I make a nigga bleed. Oh man, beyond fire to me. He fucking went off on that. Everybody killed it on here. P Silk Fiend. Mac had that double time like fast flow on here. Mia X him correct. Like I put my holes in you to the hand net. Whatever the fuck that bitch said on that shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Hard as fuck. Big Ed did his thing. King Abel killed it. And of course, Mystical went off on here. I'm a Buffalo Soldier, smoking Doja. I can't stress how incredible this shit is. Nigga, this shit gave me chills when I first heard it. Just the fucking mobbing on you type shit from the whole damn half the crew, nigga. This shit fire, bro. I love Soldiers. My favorite song on the album.
Yeah, I mean it's phenomenal posse cut, and I mean the thing that I think is really good about it is like in my opinion, it's like all the best No Limit Soldiers on one track. You know, like there's no Full
Yeah.
Blooded on here, there's no Skullduggery on here, there's no one like that. It's all the greatest ones, and yeah, I mean it's fantastic in my opinion. I think Cain and Abel. I think their verse is crazy good. I love when they say, my warriors want more war mentality, drug dealing, fatality, fuck your feelings, use my guns for proficient killings. P gave the order, Cain and Abel is willing, spitting ammunition, leaving loved ones missing. Oh my goodness, they killed that.
Yeah, they're from the
Um,
Bronx. They're from the Bronx, yeah.
yeah, yep. But yeah, like you said, everyone did their thing, Mia X, like you said, I'm still on more times trying to pay bills with rhymes. Criminal thoughts make my nine in the picture much clearer. I love that. Yeah, I mean, everyone did their thing, Fiend comes in with the womp womp, it's one of those songs that's when you listen to it, you get hype. This is like No Limit at their best, in my opinion. This is what they do best, that kind of hard as hell hype, just bouncy southern gangster stuff. And yeah, it's fantastic posse cut. I don't know if it's my favorite Soldier track. It's between this one and track one of Charges of the Game by Silk. That
Yeah, that
that
one's
one's crazy
banging.
good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's This one's awesome too. And yeah, like you said, everyone did their thing in there, and the beat just kind of like bangs along in the background as well. It's just awesome by KLC. He did his thing for sure.
Fuck yeah, brother. Then we get Cluckus featuring Fiend. Craig B. Beats by the Pound produced this. See Murder pays homage, of course, to Ice-T's Colors. See Murder and Fiend talking about slinging them birds and serving the fiends. I guess Cluckus is them birds, chickens.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely like not one of my favorites. It ain't whack. It just I never like go to it. That's just me personally, but pretty dope.
I'm laughing because, believe it or not, this is my favorite song on the album.
Oh shit!
I love this song. I think it's amazing. That see that how that beat comes in, that synth at the start, and the cluckers. I think they flipped that beautifully. I think they did an amazing track or amazing job with that track. And I think C Murder. Like they're both him and Fiend. They're doing that like drug stealing stuff, and I think it's just so dope. C Murder, he says, um, it's time to break shit down and bag it up. We make crack like this. Now we got to sell the stuff. Mom's tripping, want to know why I've got two beepers. I couldn't tell her one's for the hoes and the other one's for the tweakers. That's dope as hell.
That shit is fucking hard though. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that he says, my money's coming fast like a motherfucking nut. That's dope as hell. And then Fiend, he was dope as well. I just love his delivery. Like he's one of my favorites from the crew. Just his delivery and his voice is amazing. And I think this song, I love it personally. I think it's amazing. This is a kind of like it's kind of like Captain Kirk all over again, huh?
Right? Yeah, it's not one of my favorites for sure. They say dope shit on there, but it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But I feel you as well.
Yep.
Then we get the title track, "Life or Death," featuring Miss Peaches. Title track is very dark and grim. Moby Dick did the production on this one. C Murder's talking about not trusting nobody and just trying to live his life, man. So definitely a dope title track, "Life or Death."
Yeah, I personally love this song too. This is another one of my favorites on the album. I love that hook. I think it's so dope. It's life or death in my time.
It's amazing.
Yeah, Miss Peaches did her thing on that. And C Murder, again, this is another good example of him just talking that shit. And again, really enjoy him sort of doing that stuff. This is why I constantly watch all my enemies, because death is a disease to all my true G's. He sounds great on that track. Really good production again. And again, this is actually like up there for me. I love this track. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, of course, like you said, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Where I'm From, featuring Prime Suspects, produced by KLC. C Murder talking about that grimy street shit like he does best. Prime Suspects come correct. They're underrated in my opinion on the tank. And this joint is just grimy. I fucks with it.
Yeah, no, I like this track too. I felt I don't know the Prime Suspects by name, if you know what I mean.
Neither do I, bro. I never did really.
Yeah, but I like the one that comes in, like the one that comes in towards the end. Like when he says, bitch, I'm in this to win this. In Mortal Kombat, you get finished. That's pretty dope. And overall, I think it's definitely a dope song. But I mean, not much to say about it. It's just more gangster shit, isn't it? And this album does that so well. It really does. Another dope line that Prime Suspect guy says. He says, "Guilty till proven innocent for putting busters in girders. If you haven't heard, I'm from the popos. Where I'm from, the popos never see murder." I thought that was pretty dope too. But overall, it's just another hard ass track on the album, and I like it a lot. Just saying, where I'm from, this is the kind of crazy stuff that goes on for sure. I like it.
Oh yeah, brother. We get G's and Max, which is Silk the Shocker, Soldier Slim. Moby Dick body bag the production on here. I loved it. Just raw as fuck. Murder talking about that real shit. Silk low key body this joint. I rock with his verse heavy. And of course with the slimming off on here. Perfect flow in my opinion. Sound like the pump sample from Doggy Style.
Yep, I'm pretty sure it is. Yep.
Pump. Fire, yo. L shit, yo.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Jason Max, another one that I really like on the album. Like you said, that beat is just so dark and it's so hard. That doom 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 pump. I love that. It's so dope.
Pump.
I mean, and again, it's just another hard ass track. What what is it? C Murder says, he says, my pinky ring, 50 G's, pink diamond, real G's, roll with thugs that'll make you bleed. It's just hard, hard gangster stuff again. C Murder mentions having, tattoo of a teardrop under his eye. I walk with a limp because I got shot in the thigh. I like that.
Yeah.
Hard as hell. And Silk the Shocker, like he said, he comes in correct too. Always entertaining, always dope in my opinion, for the most part anyway. He always I always feel like when he's guest featuring on like these sort of big No Limit albums, he always does his thing. And so does Slim again. Just hella hard, how he comes in, all G's stack G's that need to be made. It's called survival. Watch your ass duck fake, keep an infrared duck, all Glocks stay cocked. Everybody running up, getting shot. We got proper cards to pop. Just how he spits all that in one go.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. His flow was something else too. And it's another dope track. But again, like we said, that beat, one of my favorite beats on the album for sure. It's just so raw. Doom, doom. I love it. Awesome stuff from Moby Dick. Yeah, awesome stuff.
Fuck yeah, brother. All right. Now we get to commercial featuring Odell and QB. I never knew who the fuck that QB cat was. Was nothing special in my opinion, just that dude QB kicking a verse. Little skit, I want to call it. Nothing much to it.
Yeah, I assume this album got shelved, I guess, because
Yeah.
I don't think anything happened with him. I thought the song was fine. I thought it was all right. Would have been, I would have been interested, maybe a little bit, just out of curiosity, to listen to a few tracks from this album if it did come out, like just on YouTube or streaming or whatever. I would have like give it a go, but no, it was kind of standard fare, just kind of like decent, but nothing too amazing. Kind of weird having a commercial for an album if it never sort of lighted down. It's kind of weird.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't even remember seeing that shit in the booklets. Might have been. I just can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It rings a bell. It rings a bell for sure, but I'm not sure. I can't picture it off the top of my head.
Now we get Riders. I play this joint a lot too. KLC killed the production. It's dark and grimy. Just that straight gangster shit that I love so much. I love C Murder's verses on here. Just that raw shit. I fucks with Riders, man.
Yeah, Riders is dope. Another thing as well, like C Murder proves, on multiple tracks that he can hold a track on his own. No problem at all.
Yeah.
Between this and the Trish shit and Feel My Pain, Life or Death, like he's able to hold down plenty of tracks by himself, and he does a really good job with it. I think Riders is a hard track again. I like when he says, situation getting sticky, call my dogs on the phone. Here comes the brigades aiming straight for your dome. Simple, but like how he spits it, again, his voice, his delivery is pretty good, I feel like on some tracks he sounds less like Pac than others. I don't know if you picked up on that throughout the album,
So he changed his flow up a bit.
For sure. But it, whatever flow he decides to use, it works. And We Ride it's kind of like pretty straightforward song, all things considered, but it's dope. I like it a lot. It's dope.
Yeah. We can Watch Your Enemies, which is Magic. Carlos Stephens from Beats by the Pound did the production on this joint. See Murder keeping his guard up on a bitch ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? They try to plot on him. Magic's verse is dope. Talks about watching his enemies and his friends, that keep your enemies close but your friends closer type shit. I remember how that saying goes, Watch Your Enemies, dope track for sure. The album got to be strong if you're 21 tracks in, there's not no really whack shit on it.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, for sure. And the thing is as well, like you would think that this album, I'll be honest, with every No Limit album, I look at the track list and I think, oh my goodness, that's a lot of songs. I don't know if I'm ready to listen to all that.
Especially with the shows and shit, dog. Fuck me.
Yeah, for sure. But see, actually listen to this album, it actually goes by quite quickly. I'm very surprised. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because it's one of the great ones.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, by this stage, a lot of people probably are a little, possibly a bit fatigued, but no, it just trucks along. Watch Your Enemies, another good song. Um, yeah, like you said, kind of self-explanatory from the title alone. Always nice to hear Magic on there again. Just you know, basically saying, don't trust anyone. Basically, don't care if he's your friend or not. Don't trust him.
Yeah.
And yeah, dope song for sure.
Yeah. All right, and we get Duck and Run featuring Fiend. Craig B. a Beast by the Pound lays the beat on here. I love this track. C Murder killed it. He's talking about Crips, Bloods, and Gangster Disciples showing up to his show and wilding the fuck out. I love Fiend on the chorus. You better duck and run, nigga, duck and run. You better duck and run, boy. Dog, this shit is hard. One of my ultimate favorites on the album. Love this shit. The gunshots and whatnot. Yeah, straight piff, crack. Love it. Duck and Run is like top tier no limit shit. Love this song.
Yeah, very dope song. I always love, when songs do that like gunshots in the background kind of thing. Always dope,
Yes.
but it really fits C Murder really well. And another good example of that is Fog Love by Bone. Like that's another good
Oh my
example of that.
god, that's the greatest one for me.
Yeah, probably. That sounds crazy good. But yeah, I mean, this is again, I would kind of put Duck and Run with the likes of On the Run from earlier on the album, kind of like exciting, kind of actiony kind of track, kind of sets the stage, about uh, just that kind of like street mentality, like it's popping off, and duck and run, like that chorus is just so ill, and yeah, I mean, it's a dope track, pretty short one for sure. The only thing I could have done without is the little intro at the start. Um, Personally, but yeah, I think overall, I think the song is really good when it kicks in proper, and
Fuck yeah.
yeah, it's another great song.
Like Ghetto Ties, featuring Soldier Slim, Full Blooded. Carlos Stevens did the production on here. C Murder talking about being paranoid and having trust issues in the streets, which living that life that comes with it, man. Paranoia. Soldier Slim bodied his verse, had that double time flow on here. Full Blooded is just not good. That's just me though. Should have put Mac on here instead or something, some Tank Dog shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dope track, but fuck Full Blooded.
Yeah, Ghetto Ties. Interestingly, that Mia X has a song called Ghetto Ties as well on her first album, Good Girl But Gone Bad.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, no, dope song. I mean, C Murder's verse is my favorite. I like how he kind of opens it up by saying, "My gateway to hell seems to be it's constantly open. The Reaper is calling, so I'm constantly smoking." I just like that. Love the imagery of that, and like you said, that kind of paranoid feel. Knowing
yeah,
that danger's all around and anything could happen, and
yeah.
yeah, that kind of mortality aspect for sure. I like when he also said, life's a bitch. Who do you trust? I put my faith in the Glock because I know it's gonna bust. Hard. And like you said, Soldier Slim, pretty dope as well. Another dope verse from him. Just yeah, he's got that great flow, and yeah, Full Blooded. I don't really remember his verse, so yeah,
Yeah,
he's just kind of there. He's just there.
yeah, he's just there.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's the Aldo Montoya of the crew for sure.
definitely, definitely. With the jockstrap mask and the whole nine.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. That's great. Then we get Survival of the Fittest featuring Gotti of Gambino family. Also, he's on one of my favorite No Limit songs of all time, that Bourbon and Lax off
Oh yeah.
Ghetto D. Yeah. So KLC produced this joint. I love the production on here. It knocks. C Murder takes a scroll down memory lane. Talks about slinging in bricks, coming up in the drug game, where only like the real ones survive. Gotti talks about his dope dealing days and then getting signed to the tank. I just love this dirty, grimy ass gangster shit, man, and it's a dope ass song. I love it, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just another strong track on the album. C Murder doing what he does best. Does like a good sort of job of detailing kind of his surroundings and sort of giving an idea of what his upbringing was. Like he said about, being born a bastard and being, but his dad was a thug too, and sort of, kind of going through that. And just, yeah, overall, like C Murder, he does gangster shit just really, really well. And I
Yes,
thought
he
Gotti's
does.
verse was dope as well. So yeah, no, another good song. It's kind of like the last full length song on the album because the next few are pretty short. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a dope track, and yeah, just basically saying about how the ghetto is just this crazy place and survival of the fittest for sure.
Oh yeah, brother. Then we get Dreams. See, Murder talks about wishing how life was a dream, because shit is rough. Short track. That's all I had to really say about it.
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was a pretty good song. Pretty short, like you said. It's only about a minute and a half, maybe a little bit over. But yeah, I like that. I like the beat for it too. Kind of dark and eerie. And yeah, I mean, I think it fits well with the kind of a lot of the other songs in the album. Just obviously, reality is tough, and yeah, sometimes. He wishes that wasn't real, but unfortunately, that is the reality. And yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a good way to end off the album as well.
Oh yeah. And then you got the outro, which just, same as the intro.
Yeah, same beat, just
Yeah.
like shorter, basically. But yeah, you couldn't put any more songs because he filled up the entire CD. So that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. P thought there's 80 minutes on the desk, fill it all up. So, yeah, see Murder, Life or Death, celebrated 25 years on March 17th, 1998. So, we did every episode of Speak Ya Clout Podcast. We give our top 3 songs in the classic Sauce Mike rating. So, for me, this is a 4.5 album. I don't give a fuck. It is to me personally. Love it, man. And so many 26 tracks, bro. But my top 3 songs is the Soldiers. My favorite Soldiers song, Love Soldiers. Gotta put that on there. And as much as annoying masterpiece fucking groaning is on fucking a Kick Dough, I gotta put a Kick Dough. I just brings me back to summer '98, chilling with my cousin and shit on the stoop. That shit's hard. And then my third favorite track, that's a tough one for me. Fuck. I don't know, man. There's so many on here. But if I had some gun on my head shit, uh, Duck and Run.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go with
Yeah.
Duck and Run. So I said 2, right? Or 3?
3. Yeah, that's your third
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
okay. Third one, okay. Yeah, that Duck and Run Fiends is just fucking crazy on there. So, yeah, that's my top 3 tracks on there, which is Soldiers, Duck and Run, and I gotta put a Kick Dough because that shit crazy hard. UGK did that thing on there. So, yeah, see, Murder, my favorite Miller brother. I think all his No Limit albums are fucking dope. This being the best one. Bossellini and Trapped in Crime is definitely stand out. But yeah, C Murder, my favorite soldier, man. The Tank, Free C Murder, man.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I can't believe that that's still going on to this
I
day. It's just
know, man.
crazy. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. 4.5 marks, I think, is appropriate. I mean, there's nothing really whack on this, really. Like, I'm going through the track list. There's nothing bad. My least favorite song is Getting Paid. I thought that I could probably do without that, but it's not bad. It's just, I personally could do without it. There may be a few other songs that, technically I could live without, but overall, I think it's a really strong album all the way through. It opens up with a second chance, and all the way through, I think the album does a really good job of keeping your interest despite the really long runtime. And we mentioned that like Nick, C Murder and the rest of the No Limit guys, like they often hit up the same subject matter over and over again, but. I think there's enough variety on there to keep it interesting. A good mixture of like straight up like gully, aggressive, like gangster music, along with some of the more contemplative, personal stuff. But I think C Murder does really well very underrated in that regard. You know, people don't really talk about that aspect of his music. And overall, I mean, the beats from Beats by the Pound, excellent. You know what I mean? They were, you know, in their prime at this stage. I think each beat, you know, is distinctive enough to keep things interesting. And of course, you know, No Limit at this time had a large roster of artists, and you know, I think you know, obviously most of them are really good, and they help keep your interest and they keep the album fresh all the way through. Just hearing them pop up on different songs, so yeah, I mean, I think it's a really, really good album, and even though it's like 79 minutes long, it feels a lot shorter than that. I give them credit. Like I listened to this album 4 times this week, and it wasn't a struggle, you know. Sometimes I look at a No Limit album and I think, oh, you know, that's a lot of music, you know. But like once it's actually on and rolling, it goes by a lot quicker because it's really good. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it 4.5 as well. And my top three songs are gonna go with Cluckers, number one, love that track. And then number two, I'm gonna go with the title track, Life or Death. I love that song too. And then number three, I'm probably gonna go with the Soldier song. It's really awesome. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean the entire album I think is really good, bar maybe like a couple of tracks that aren't like absolutely amazing, but like generally it's a very strong listen, and I think it's one of the best No Limit albums. Period.
it is, brother. It is. Shout out to Cool Chill. I know he loves this album too. So yeah, Speak Your Clout Podcast. No Limit Records month, all April. Next week, Camouflage Thug, nigga. Mac. Shell Shocked. I can't wait for that one, bro. I said fire, bro. So yeah.
Yeah, this is fun. I'm
Yeah,
enjoying this No Limit kick that we're on at the
I am as
moment.
well. It means a lot to me, bro. And a lot of East Coast niggas are banging the tank, bro. Trust, you know. So back in the day when I was copping those CDs. So shout out to the chat, all y'all, man, and see y'all niggas on the flip side, yo.
Have a good one.
Peace.